All right, welcome everybody. It's Tim Conway Jr. along with Rich for the Crest Report again here on the weekend on your station. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, and we are going to talk about gold and silver and precious metals. Rich, nice to see you, man.
Nice to see you again, Tim.
So how was Thanksgiving? Good? You
it was
enjoy
great.
it?
I enjoyed it very well.
A lot of family.
A lot of family, a lot of good times.
That is sensational. All right, we're already in December, which means we're in our final month of Rich's sweet deal of $25,000 in free silver when you purchase up to $250,000 in premium Mintage coins. Premium Mintage coins. If you buy $250,000, you're going to get 10% in free silver. That's $25,000 in free silver. It's yours. It's absolutely free. Just call this number, 833-362-3843, 833-362-3843, 833-362-3843. Rich, gold had a great week.
And silver. Both of them had a great week.
Silver did too.
Yeah, silver had a great week. You know, when I actually was printing out my notes, on Friday, I think it was at $54.76, and now it's almost $57.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Wow.
I think it's $57.25 as we speak right now, which is another huge jump. So, and gold at the time I printed this out was $41.92. Now it's past $4,200. I think it's $42.40.
And you probably hate to say it so because you're a humble man, so I'll say it for you. You told them so.
I said it was going to happen. So, the people that I was trying to, like we talked about in the previous weeks, that, silver has kind of been the stepchild that I knew it was going to break out. It's breaking out now.
Okay, silver is on its way up. So is gold. And we talked last week, and you mentioned something that stuck with me all week. You were talking about resetting gold, and I did some research, and again, you're right. Has that ever been done before?
I think it's been done once before. I don't remember, and I think the results yielded that it actually went up a lot.
Right.
So even if they don't reset the price of gold and silver, it's already on the track record of going way up.
Of going up to maybe even $5,000 or $6,000 an ounce?
That's what they've been saying, Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley. And they're saying that, gold could double, up to $100.
Wow.
So, I mean, silver. I'm sorry. Silver.
Yeah. Wow. $100 an ounce. And if that happens, you're talking about doubling your money then.
Yeah. It's like we talked about it. I think, silver is almost back up to 70% this year to date, as far as where it's at. And then gold, I think, is up around 50%. So we're still on track, you saw what happened with Bitcoin, that didn't happen with gold and silver. People need to realize this is a safe haven for them.
All right, call this number right now or go to the website. GoldenCrestMetals.com is the website, GoldenCrestMetals.com. If you want to take the quiz and see how much money you should have in gold and silver, it's very easy to get to, GoldenCrestMetals.com/quiz. GoldenCrestMetals.com/quiz. And you're going to take the quiz, and all those answers will go to Rich and his team, and they can put together the perfect package for you. When you buy real estate, you can actually stand on it. You can live on it. You can park your boat on it, your car on it. It's something you can feel in your hands. Gold is the same way. Silver is the same way. But Bitcoin is not.
No, Bitcoin, as you know, when it kind of collapsed and people say, oh, it'll rebound. It's still too volatile to go from like 124,000 to 80,000 in a matter of days. It's a very volatile thing. And also it requires, passwords and logins. And if you lose that, then there's no customer service for Bitcoin that I've seen that you can call and say, I lost my password.
Right.
You're kind of screwed there. So, there's just too many cons with Bitcoin. It's like gambling. You might as well go to Vegas.
Right, and enjoy the money.
Yeah, and enjoy it.
Before giving it away. But with Bitcoin, there's also a very restricted, a limited amount of people that accept it too.
There are. And, there's all the other digital currencies like XRP and, other ones that people are betting on, and there's also the Trump digital currency.
Right.
There are all these different kinds that are out there, but in the end of the day, you don't own anything. It's like air.
Right.
It's nothing.
And that's not what this country's built on. This country is built on, it's the look at me capital of the world. Look what I bought. Look how big my house is. Look how big my boat is. Look how shiny my ring is or how fancy my watch is. People like to own something that they can feel, and gold is the perfect thing. Look, when you're designing a place, like a perfect example is President Trump goes in the White House and wanted to make it look like it's a wealthier place. The one thing he turned to was gold.
Yeah.
And, and put gold. I mean, whether you love it or not, or whether you think it's crazy or not, or a little gaudy, but it does sort of resemble you made it life when you have a gold watch, a gold ring, a gold toilet seat, whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, there's a certain, prestige of, owning gold and silver.
Right.
Especially with silver now too. But, I think, going back to Bitcoin, it's, what happens if we have some kind of technical issue with the servers or something happens? There's just so many things that could go wrong that you could lose. And I've talked to people that this week that have lost a lot of money with that drop in Bitcoin.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, what do I do? Do I just wait until it rebounds, or do I take what I have left and put it in gold and silver? I try to educate them that gold and silver is kind of a long game and Bitcoin is gambling. It's just short game. So,
but also when you own gold or silver, you can either opt to put it in Delaware in a vault, or you can keep it on your person. You can keep it in your house, and you can look at it. I think it gives people a sense of stability that they can look at it and feel it and touch it. And that doesn't happen with Bitcoin. You're right. You lose your password or somebody guesses or rips off your password and you might have $10 million in Bitcoin. It could be gone overnight.
Yeah, you just lose it. But, trying to take $10 million worth of gold out of somewhere is going to be a little difficult.
Right. Exactly. All right. Call this number right now. This deal ends at the end of this month?
Yes.
Okay. This deal is over in less than 30 days. As a matter of fact, 3.5 weeks, this deal comes crashing to an end, and it's 10% of your purchase price in premium mintage coins, premium mintage gold coins. 10% of your purchase price will be going to free silver, and you're going to get free silver up to $25,000 in free silver, and that is yours. Once the deal closes, that silver is either sent to you, sent to your home, or sent to a vault in Delaware or wherever your vault is, whatever your preference is, and you own that silver. So phone them up right now. This deal is over in about 3 weeks. About 3 weeks from now, this deal comes to an end. 833-362-3843, 833-362-3843, 833-362-3843, or you can go to the website. It's GoldenCrestMetals.com, GoldenCrestMetals.com. I looked at the website. The quiz is still on the website.
Quiz is still there. So
you can take the 10, 15, maybe even 20-minute quiz if you got to look some stuff up. And what kind of questions do you think are most important in that quiz?
How much do you want to spend? That gives us an idea of what range in the portfolio program that we put you in. So that's kind of a good way of understanding things. What are your expectations? There's a number of things in there, and you can add notes too as well of what your questions are. So we are better equipped to, answer them when you call in.
And it's a time saver too.
It's a big time saver. That was the whole reason we did it. We didn't want people repeating themselves when they got transferred over or called in and, just had to repeat themselves. So we're trying to take that away.
I wonder what it is about, especially about Americans. I noticed that, foreigners are a little more relaxed than we are, but Americans, they hate repeating themselves.
And they're always in a hurry.
Right.
They're always in a hurry. They're on their way to work. They're on their way to the market to drop the kids off.
Right.
They got a limited amount of time. So you have a really small pocket of time to get all this information over to them. And then they say, okay, let me call you later when I'm with my significant other. So you're trying to spew out all this information in a short period of time, and sometimes some of it catches, some of it doesn't.
Right, but even I noticed this week I went to McDonald's, and I could hear the guy in front of me ordering. He was pretty loud, and he ordered a hamburger, small fries, and a small Coke. Fairly simple order. And the woman, there was a short in the microphone or whatever, and she said, I'm sorry, could you repeat that? And he got really angry, just repeating that short order.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's got a short fuse. I mean, you've seen it with road rage around
That's
here.
right. Yeah, the road rage, the old road rage was, you
just flip somebody off.
Exactly.
Now you pull out a gun.
Or you crash your car into them purposely.
Yeah.
And drag them around the freeway.
Brake check them.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. All right, call this number right now. Get yourself up to $25,000 in free silver. This deal ends at the end of this month. It's over. So if you've been thinking about it, don't think about it anymore. Got to call this number right away, 833-362-3843, 833-362-3843, or the website, GoldenCrestMetals.com, GoldenCrestMetals.com. The new deal after the first year, will it be anywhere near this? Or are you still thinking about it?
I'm still thinking about it. I've been kind of going through it in my head to try to figure out what is another good program to offer, because demand is rising. So there's only so much you can do with demand. I mean, when demand is a little bit lower, like it was earlier in the year, you're able to do creative things and, buy out, at lower prices. But the way things are going, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So it'll have to be more of a creative operation.
Okay. But it certainly won't be this sweet.
No,
this
it won't
deal.
be. No,
Okay.
This is the best deal.
All right, call this number right now or go to the website. GoldenCrestMetals.com is the website. GoldenCrestMetals.com. If you want to take the quiz and see how much money you should have in gold and silver, it's very easy to get to. GoldenCrestMetals.com/quiz. GoldenCrestMetals.com/quiz. And you're going to take the quiz, and all those answers will go to Rich and his team, and they can put together the perfect package for you. All right, let's also talk about the dollar. The dollar down 11%. That means everything that you go out there and spend money on, you're spending another 11%.
Yeah,
on everything.
You're losing money. I mean, the dollar's lost its value, and it's paper basically. I mean, it's a note. And at this point, that note is not worth as much as it was years ago.
And how much can they, Rich and I both live in California. And so we pay, not only do we lose the 11% like everybody else in the nation, but we have a 10.5% sales tax in the state of California in most counties. So you're already down 21% before you even walk out the door.
Yeah, I mean, you're upside down. I mean, it's kind of like, business tax, city business tax. I mean, that's like 10%. It's just, we're just getting clobbered, by all these fees and everything and taxes and everything else. And meanwhile, the dollar's worth less. So
it's unreal.
And then you got the unemployment situation, which is still getting worse. And, they're doing hiring freezes now and laying people off. It's horrible.
Yeah, you can lay too many people off. Some corporations think that they can just, wiggle out of any, negative situation by just firing a lot of people. You can fire too many people. There was an old story that my dad told me about firing too many people. There's a guy who owned a horse. They fed that horse 25 pounds of hay every day. And every day they'd take an ounce out of it, 1 ounce, 2 ounces, 3 ounces. And then they said, wouldn't you know it? Just when I was getting down to feeding that horse, nothing, he died.
Yeah.
That's it.
You're slowly starving.
That's right. You're starved. A lot of these companies are starving themselves by firing all these people, because not only, do these employees make money for your company, but they keep money coming into your company because they spend money in your stores and your business.
Yeah, I mean, I understand seasonality.
I do too.
I mean, I understand that part of it. And there's a portion of seasonality with our business. A lot of people are saying, I want to wait till after the holidays. I want to wait till after the first. They make up a bunch of excuses. And I said, well, by that time, you've missed the boat.
Right.
And you're just procrastinating. So we do get a lot of people that are like that. and a lot of people that are scared too about their job. They're like waiting for a Christmas bonus or some holiday bonus that they're supposed to get, and they don't know if they're getting it or not. And, they're just waiting on pins and needles.
Right. I don't remember the last time I got a Christmas bonus. I mean, but when I started working, back in the 80s, in the 80s and 90s, every year you got something, even if it was $50 or so is something.
Yeah. I mean, it's nowadays you're lucky to have a job.
Yeah. I don't know anybody that gets a Christmas bonus.
I think when I was working for another developer, I asked him about my Christmas bonus, and he said, "Your job is your bonus." So I said, "All right."
I had a friend who worked over at another radio station in Los Angeles, and he worked with us, and he went in to our program director, a guy named Jack Silver, and said, "Can I get a raise?" And he said, "You're working 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. every day. Go get a job during the day. That's your raise."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very similar.
Big heart. All right, call
guy.
this number right now and get yourself the free silver. It's yours for free. Free silver when you buy premium Mintage gold coins. You get up to $25,000 in free silver. That's sweet. And it all comes crashing to an end. It all comes to an end, comes crashing down at the end of this month, at the end of December. 833-362-3843. 833-362-3843. One more time, 833-362-3843. I read an article this week about big banks calling for a double-digit correction. That's going to affect everybody in this country.
Yeah, and I think, it's going to affect, I think good for gold and silver.
Oh, good.
In my opinion. But yeah, I mean, a correction needs to happen. I mean, with everything the way it's going, with the increased living costs and inflation and loss of jobs, the devalue of the dollar, all these negative things, something has to happen. We have to reset.
And if that does happen, with the stock market and I imagine Bitcoin would take a huge hit. I'll bet you're right. I'll bet it's probably good for gold and silver.
Yeah, in my opinion, it is, because it's a tangible asset. It's never crashed. It dips, here and there, but it doesn't dip a lot, but we've seen tremendous growth from gold and silver in the last year or so, just based on, the demand.
Talk about these premium Mintage coins. It used to be in the old days, the Buffaloes, and what was the other one?
Eagles.
The Eagles, right.
Yeah.
And now there's, how many different kinds of premium Mintage coins are there?
Oh, there's so many now.
Thousands?
Yeah. I don't know if there's thousands, but there's a significant amount.
Is there any one particular that everybody tries to get that's pretty scarce?
It changes weekly because I usually look it up on the wholesalers' websites to see which ones are selling the most, and it changes too much.
Right.
It's just based on demand.
And is it obviously based on demand? But you said last week or 2 weeks ago that it's even tougher to get, back in the old days, you would take an order for gold or for silver and be able to fulfill it immediately. But now it's taken some time because of demand.
On the premium Mintage coins, it is. On the bullion, the Eagles and the Buffaloes, you can get those immediately. I mean, those are, coins that are, readily available.
Right. But, with old coins, like the wheatback penny and the silver dollar, back in the 1940s or 50s, when you buff them, they're worth less. Is that the same with gold?
Gold, you're not supposed to touch at all.
You're not?
No, you're not supposed to touch it. It's handled with white gloves, and it's put in a casing or a sleeve. You're not supposed to, do anything with it.
Right. So just leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
Okay. Now, I also saw this on the website, that not only are you getting $25,000 in free silver, 10% of your qualified purchase of premium Mintage coins, but also a free home safe?
Yes.
Wow.
There was something new we introduced because a lot of people were calling saying they didn't know what to do with their purchase.
Okay.
They didn't know whether to put it under the mattress or something. So we decided to put in a free safe.
Okay. Then you also have free insured shipping on eligible physical orders.
Well, it's actually on all orders.
On all orders. Okay.
Yeah.
On all orders.
We don't want the liability.
And then free IRA storage for qualifying account sizes.
Correct.
Okay. And what is that for people that don't know?
So you have a custodian. When you do a self-directed IRA rollover, there's storage fees associated with being in, let's say, Delaware Depository and having the custodian. So you have to pay that fee every year in order to keep your account open. So we pay those fees for a certain amount of years based on the size of the portfolio.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. That could save you a lot of money.
It could.
Yeah. All right. Call this number right now or go to the website. GoldenCrestMetals.com is the website. GoldenCrestMetals.com. If you want to take the quiz and see how much money you should have in gold and silver, it's very easy to get to. GoldenCrestMetals.com/quiz. GoldenCrestMetals.com/quiz. And you're going to take the quiz, and all those answers will go to Rich and his team, and they can put together the perfect package for you. But right now, don't forget, up to $25,000 in free silver for qualifying purchase of premium Mintage gold coins, a free home safe, and also with qualified purchases, free insured shipping on everything, all physical orders, and free IRA storage for qualifying account sizes. That's a lot. That's a big giveaway.
It's a huge giveaway.
So you got to call right now. This giveaway is not going to be around in 3 weeks. Once we enter the new year, which is only 3.5 weeks away, this deal is going away. So call them up right now. Even though you've heard this show for the last 4 or 5 weeks and you've hesitated, please don't hesitate now. This deal is going away and it may never come back. 833-362-3843. You're going to get up to $25,000 in silver when you purchase premium gold Mintage coins. You get 10% of your purchase. So if you bought $100,000 worth of premium gold Mintage coins, then you're going to get 10% in silver, which means $10,000. If you order $250,000, you get $25,000 in free silver. Free silver. 833-362-3843. 833-362-3843. And I also noticed on your website, you have, who's the celebrity that's on? Is that Savage?
There's Michael Savage.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's great. He's a great guy.
Have you met him?
I've done interviews with him, but
Okay.
I haven't met him personally. And he actually bought gold from us.
Oh, good.
Not too long ago. So he's also a customer as well.
Yeah. He's one of the great talk show hosts of my time. I remember listening to him, broadcasting out of San Francisco in Northern California, and I loved how angry he got over everything.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's great.
I probably shouldn't say this, but he placed an order with us, and he's never home. So he wanted sent to another location, and we sent it to the other location, but he couldn't get it. And I was getting emails from like, how the hell do I get this friggin' order? And I'm like, well, if you're home, just sign for it. Well, I'm not home. So we had to send it to this other location, and the other person who was there didn't understand what they were receiving.
Oh, that's great.
But I could tell he was getting angry, and I finally, emailed him back and said, "Listen, we took care of you.
Good.
I'm sorry you went through this inconvenience." And he was fine. He's a little short fused.
He is, and I still quote him to this day. I heard this in maybe the mid-90s, where a guy called him up and was telling him, because Mike Savage always had a great dog. He was a great dog lover. But a guy called him up and told him a story about his own dog, and he hung the phone up and he goes, "No more schmaltzy stories about dogs."
Really?
It's so great. And I remember that line. I remember where I was sitting when I heard that line. "No more schmaltzy stories about these dogs." He's great. He really is.
He is
awesome.
a good guy.
Yeah, he's a really cool dude. All right, we've got to take a break, but you, while we're taking a break, are going to call this number, and you're going to buy premium Mintage gold coins. And when you do that, you're going to get 10% in free silver. 833-362-3843. 833-362-3843. 833-362-3843. Also go to the website and take the quiz as well. The quiz is on the website, GoldenCrestMetals.com. GoldenCrestMetals.com/quiz. GoldenCrest GoldenCrestMetals.com/quiz. We're going to take a short break. We'll come back and talk about more gold and more silver with Rich. Thank you for listening to the show. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Tim Conway Jr. along with Rich. He is the owner of GoldenCrest Metals, GoldenCrestMetals.com, GoldenCrestMetals.com. You're listening to the Crest Report every single weekend on this station. Talk about gold and silver, some current events, what's going on around the world. It was a great week for gold, a great week for silver. And Rich has been telling you over the last 8 weeks, last 2 months, you got to get in on this. You got to get in on this. Hopefully you did, and you pulled the trigger, and you bought yourself gold or silver. Because when we started the show, the gold was under $4,000 an ounce, and now it's over, is it 4,200?
4,200.
4,200 an ounce for 1 ounce, a single ounce of gold. So call this number right now before this deal comes to an end. And right now the deal is you get 10% of your purchase price in free silver. So if you buy 10% of your purchase price of premium mintage gold coins, you're going to get that money in free silver. For instance, if you buy $200,000 in premium mintage gold coins, you're going to get $20,000 in free silver. 100,000, you'll get 10. 250,000, you'll get 25,000 in free silver. Plus, a free home safe, all with qualified purchases, free insured shipping on all orders, and free IRA storage for qualifying account sizes. So phone them up right now and get the free silver, 833-362-3843, 833-362-3843. What do you recommend when you're talking about safes for for keeping money and precious metals, maybe even a gun or whatever? But is there a certain type of safe that you've used?
There's a couple different ones. I think we have one advertised that we get from Amazon.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so it's pretty secure. I think it's fireproof. You'd have a difficult time taking this thing out. So,
yeah, they should be pretty heavy.
Yeah, I looked at a bunch of safes online, and it wasn't because it was Amazon. It was just because I liked the security in this one particular safe.
What mistake do people make in keeping it in their house? They mostly keep it in their bedroom?
Keep it in their bedroom, in a drawer under some clothes.
And that's the first place that criminals look.
Yeah, I mean, they start pulling the drawers out, and, that's kind of how it goes. So,
right.
Putting it in a safe, a wall safe, or even if it's a floor safe, as long as it's attached to the foundation of the house, then they're not going to screw around with it once the alarm goes off and
right.
The cops are on their way.
And that does feel better when it's bolted into the foundation of the house, especially on the floor.
It is. It's those freestanding safes that you can pick up. I mean, you've seen where they rip the ATMs out.
Sure.
I mean, you're not going to, tie a rope around a safe and then use a truck to pull it out.
Right. I was amazed by how much money is kept in a typical ATM. I found this out this week. Right around $40,000 is the average.
I didn't even know that. Really?
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
No wonder they're stealing them.
Yeah, I mean, when you can only withdraw so much money.
Right. Yeah, you can only take $20 out, and there's $40,000 in there. All right, let's talk about Russia. Russia is forced to sell gold reserves to support their currency. That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, basically because they have to stabilize their currency. Because of what they're going through. They're under a lot of economic pressure.
And that's because of U.S. sanctions and global
and the
sanctions?
Tariffs and everything else that, have been placed, on specific countries.
Right.
We're seeing that not just in Russia and other places as well.
All right, let's talk about silver. We mentioned a little at the top of the show. Over right around $54.76. That's an all-time record.
It's an all-time record, and it's actually, like we were talking about earlier, when I checked it before we went on the air, it's at $57.25 right now. So it went up $3 since the last time we printed this, which is, it's amazing for silver because
Right.
I've seen silver move 50 cents, 25 cents, but $3 in a matter of a couple days. It's pretty amazing.
I always feel when I watch these TV shows where a woman goes into a jewelry store and she's got her old jewelry and she doesn't know what gold sells for and she puts them on the counter and the guy looks at it and puts that,
Oh, the liquid and then
yeah,
scratches it.
and then just takes it and gives her, a couple $100 and I'm, to the untutored eye, I even know there's probably $8,000-9,000 worth of gold there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like going into a pawn shop. You're only really going to get 50% of the value of whatever you're bringing in.
And so you got to be very careful when you do stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, the margins are great, if you're in the jewelry business.
Yeah,
You
right.
know?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, if you're in the jewelry business, you're making out like a bandit. All right, let's talk about the U.S. labor market. And the employers are cutting hours, and they're not hiring as many people.
They're not hiring as many people. They feel AI is going to take over a lot of jobs, but you know, it is starting to happen. I mean, you see with AI, people are using it for everything.
Yeah,
And lawyers, doctors,
Yeah.
everybody uses it these days.
And I see commercials on TV, especially online, on YouTube or on TikTok, where I can clearly tell that it's AI. Those are not real
I know
actors.
it's even like company reviews that I've seen of other companies. They have an AI person that's doing it.
Really.
Yeah, so it kind of defeats the purpose.
For actors, it's horrible, but for the guy who owns the company, it's great. I mean, they show up on time. There's no residuals. They never complain. AI is like the best invention in the world for the guy who owns the company.
Yeah, especially when they want to stay out of the spotlight.
Right, yeah.
And I haven't seen a lot of gold company owners, online, that really broadcast. I mostly see the AI videos.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and I can tell an AI video, but some of them I can't. Some of them are so great that I can't tell.
Yeah, there's even AI dialers, that will, I actually was using one for a while with our company because we, have so many calls
Right.
that we were using an AI dialer. And I really couldn't tell the difference for a while with the AI dialer and a real person.
All right, call this number right now. Get yourself at the end of the year. This is an end of the year special that is going away at the end of December. We're in the first week of December. It's going to be around 3 more weeks, and then it's gone. And then you're going to feel horrible that you didn't take advantage of this. You're going to get 10% of your purchase price of premium Mintage gold coins in free silver, up to $25,000 in free silver. 833-362-3843. You're also going to get a free safe, which is cool, free insured shipping, and free IRA storage for qualifying account sizes. 833-362-3843. 833-362-3843. Or the website. The website's great. There's a lot of information there. You can take the quiz there as well. And it's what we used here at the Crest Report every single week. Just go to the website, and the quiz is right up there as well. And the quiz is at goldencrestmetals.com/quiz. goldencrestmetals.com/quiz. Now, I've looked at some of your competitors, some of the other people that own, selling gold.
Yeah.
I've not seen the quiz up there on any of those sites.
I think there's a couple sites where there is a quiz. I don't know the extent of the quiz, but I think I've seen maybe 2 or 3 of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I've seen them.
But the one thing that these big companies that do sell gold, they usually comes with a very, very pricey, expensive spokesperson. The yours doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, you're paying millions of dollars to have people that are going to be your spokesperson that are on Fox News or whatever the case. And I
Right.
had some spokespeople as well, but I kind of I tried that for a while, except I have Michael Savage.
Was he a spokesperson for you for a while?
Yeah, he's been a spokesperson for a while, but I tried some other people as well, and I figured, it's just better for me to be on the front lines
Right.
than have someone else promoting the company, because at least they can put a face
Sure.
to it, and I want to be accessible. A lot of the other companies I see, you don't know who the owner is, you don't know, how many owners there are, how it's run,
Right.
it's like, what's behind the curtain.
When buying gold, how do you, check for authenticity? Is there like a rule of thumb when you buy gold?
Well, it's always 99.9% pure, and that you have to insure with the wholesaler. And you only deal with wholesalers that are authorized by the mint.
Oh, I see. I see.
So
Okay.
you have to, obviously not deviate from that.
Right, because they have everything in the world to lose if they sold you a coin that wasn't pure.
Yeah, and plus it gets checked too by the depository. They unload it, they check it, and they make sure it's pure and it's the same quality. It doesn't have dings. So
Right.
that's one of the insurance policies.
The old way to tell gold was authentic. I mean, if you want to go back, hundreds of years,
Just gonna bite it
the
down.
guy would
on
take it and bite it.
Yeah.
And what would that do? Put a dent in it?
I don't know. I've just seen it in movies, where they bite down on it in westerns and stuff.
But now there's actually a piece of equipment that's electronic, a Geiger counter of some
It's
sort.
like a spectrometer.
Yeah,
or something.
and it takes seconds
Yeah.
to tell you whether that's authentic or not.
I've seen a lot of them in pawn shops and stuff like that, or gold and silver shops that do it.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of a cool deal. It's a really cool deal. All right, call this number right now. Get yourself all the freebies. You're going to get free silver up to $25,000 when you buy premium mintage gold coins. You're also going to get a free safe, and for qualified purchases, free insured shipping on all purchases, and free IRA storage for qualifying account sizes. That is all yours for free. Just phone them up. 833-362-3843. 833-362-3843. Again, 833-362-3843. And you're going to get all of those freebies sent to you. Now, getting back to the safe, I think a lot of people, like to have safes in their home. But I can't tell you how many times I've been watching the news. A guy runs into a house. He runs out 30 seconds later with the safe. I don't know how they find them. That's got to be some kind of inside job. It has to be.
It's the movers usually.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, somebody's in on it. All right, let's talk about retirement. The playbook just changed when it comes to precious metals hitting record levels. What changes have taken place?
Mostly tax reasons. It's taking longer to retire now. Because of what's going on. So, people were retiring at an earlier age, and now you're much older. So, that's the disappointing issue, because the quality of life was supposed to be after retirement,
Sure.
after you paid your dues and everything. And now people are working till they die. I mean, it's
It's
how
horrible.
bad it is.
Yeah, and you see it every once in a while. You go to a fast food place, and you see a guy or a woman who's 85 and still working, and obviously she doesn't want to do
They're
that.
not happy.
It's the worst.
It's not.
Yeah. It's the absolute worst. All right, so what do you think about retirement? Do you have a rule of thumb when it comes to people in the know? I'm sure you know a lot of people who are advisors when it comes to retirement. Is it better to take Social Security earlier or later? What would you recommend to somebody?
I would say you take it as you need it.
Okay.
I don't think there's an age. It just depends on your economic situation,
Right.
and where you're standing financially, because everyone's situation is different. I mean, if you don't need it, I wouldn't take it right away. But when you do need it, then if you need it early, take it early.
And what is is it 62? Is that when you can start drawing?
I think it is 62.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you make enough money, then you don't get any that year.
Yeah.
So people are stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Always.
Yeah, they need the money, but they can't take it because they make too much money.
Yeah.
So
I know.
It's
It's a terrible situation.
It is. It's horrible. Call GoldenCrest Metals right now. Give them a call and tell them you want your free silver, you want your free safe, you want everything. Free shipping and free IRA storage for qualifying accounts. GoldenCrestMetals.com, GoldenCrestMetals.com, or simply just phone Rich. There are people at the office right now on this weekend that will answer your calls. Any question you might have. Maybe it's about retirement. Maybe it's about where the gold is going to be shipped, what kind of premium mintage coins they have, the whole run. 833-362-3843. 3843, 833 362 3843. Now, the Buffaloes and the Golden Eagles, those have been around for a long time.
Right.
And they're easier to get.
They're easier to get. Yeah, the market's saturated with them.
How quickly could you get one? If somebody called you up and said, I have $100,000.
Probably within a week.
Really?
Yeah.
That quickly?
Yeah, that quickly. I mean, I hate to say this, but you can buy them online. I mean, you really.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, that's how saturated the market is with them.
Yeah, but wouldn't you be leery about doing that?
Yeah, I would never do it. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't know what you're getting, but for something to be that saturated to be available on the market online, I would never buy anything precious metal wise in an online marketplace.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, that's across the board. My brother was he said he was buying an electric bike online. And I said, what kind are you buying? And I looked it up, and it was a $1,500 bike. And I said, where do you get that kind of money? Because he's not rich. I said, you have $1,500 to spend on a bike? He said, no, it's only $80. I said,
here we go.
Buddy, you're not going to get that bike for $80.
No,
and he gave him the credit card, and that was 2 years ago, and he still checks the mail every day.
So my wife had an interesting deal where she wanted to get me one of those, like the Chick-fil-A ice makers.
Oh, yeah, those are great.
Yeah, they're great.
The soft ice.
Yeah, the soft ice.
Right.
So she found one online, and it was like $200. And they usually, if you go to Amazon, they're $500. And I said, it's a scam. So she wanted to surprise me. Of course, she put her credit card down. Thing never showed up. I told her, I said, if it's too good to be true, it's not real.
But that's funny that you and I share that in common. The unbelievable ice that they have at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, it's great ice, and bless her heart, she was trying to help me out and get it and thought she had a great deal. And I said, it's not $200. It's $500 anywhere you search online.
Minimum.
Yeah, minimum. And nothing ever showed up in the mailbox.
We had something similar happen to us. My wife saw an ice cream maker at one of these big box stores. And I said, for $200, there's something fishy here. So we brought it home, and the directions were open it up, buy ice cream, put ice cream in it, and it mixes it up for you.
Yeah,
I said, that's not an ice cream maker. That's a mixer.
Yeah.
That's a blender is what that is. An expensive blender that we just bought. $250 blender is what it was. All right, GoldenCrest, call up right now and get yourself your free silver. This deal ends at the end of this month. Rich is standing by, and you have people at your office standing by to take calls as well.
We're standing by.
Okay. So call right now and get your free silver, up to $25,000 in free silver. $25,000 in free silver with your order of premium Mintage gold coins. 833-362-3843. 833-362-3843. 833-362-3843, and get yourself some gold and then get your free silver. Is there a time of year that you've noticed in dealing with gold and precious metals? And they say when you put your house on the market, do it in early spring so people can move during the summer and get into new school for the kids for the fall. Is there a gold or silver season?
I would say there's an off season. And
there is?
I would say it's usually November and December.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I would say November and December are really slow because of the holidays and people, like I said, waiting for bonus checks. And
okay.
Yeah, so that's really what I'm seeing, a slowdown, when I've been in this business, So
Right.
The rest of the year, it's popping. But I don't know, it's like everyone shuts down in the last 2 months of the year.
Yeah, especially Los Angeles does.
Mentally and physically,
you're right.
They just
100%.
shut down.
But, I was thinking about this during the week. We had talked about this last week. When you buy silver or gold coins and you give them to kids as either birthday gifts or Christmas or bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah or, Hanukkah, whatever. But you give them, instead of giving them money or a gift card, you give them that coin. And I think that means something more than just paper dollars or a credit card. I think that they'll hold on to that coin and say, oh, that's from grandma. She gave this to me 25 years ago. And they remember you for that.
They do. I mean, there's interesting. I was listening to, I think that we talked about this guy, Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
He
Yeah.
bought a house with gold.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. From gold he purchased a long time ago
Wow.
and bought like, I think a $5 million house or something like that. But big advocate of gold and silver, you
Yeah.
know, from what I'm seeing. And he practices it as well. He just doesn't talk about it.
My grandmother, who is from Canada, she's from Windsor, Canada, and she used to send us a paper Canadian dollar for our birthday,
Mhm.
which was worth exactly 68 cents. And so you take it down to, remember Home Savings and Loan?
Yeah.
Take it down to Home Savings and Loan. They'd look at it and they give you 68 cents, and that was
That was it.
That was a wrap. That was
Yeah.
your gift. And then you take it over to Thrifty drugstore and buy one scoop of ice cream. And
Oh
that
my
was,
God, Thrifties.
yeah,
Jesus, that is a name from the past.
You remember that? The
Yeah,
cylinder
of course. They used to have it at, what was it, Save-Ons?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Save-On Drugstore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Save-On Drugstore is great. Remember they had radio bargains where they only advertised on the radio. Jay Leno had a great joke about Thrifty. He said he was doing a show in Anchorage, Alaska, and it was 45 degrees below zero outside. Yet you walk into Thrifty and the ice cream was still soft.
Yeah.
That's a great joke. All right, call this number right now and get yourself the free silver. This deal goes away at the end of the year, and you're not sure what's going to replace it, but it's not going to be as sweet as this deal.
That's right. That's
Okay.
about as right as it gets.
Okay. All right, you've got to call right now and get yourself up to $25,000 in free silver. And what you do is you purchase premium Mintage gold coins up to $250,000, and then you're going to get $25,000 or 10% of your purchase price in free silver. What's the minimum purchase there for the free silver?
So for cash, it's $10,000. If it's an IRA rollover, it's $25,000.
Okay. And when somebody is going to buy, let's say, $10,000 worth of silver from you,
Mm-hmm.
do they wire the money? Do they send a check? How do they?
Usually we tell them to send a check. There's been a lot of banking issues with doing wires because of scams and everything
Right.
else. The banks are trying to protect themselves and scare the clients. So even the legitimate businesses are getting hit where the banks are blocking things and scaring their customers.
So once, let's say you get a check on a Monday,
Mm-hmm.
then you deposit it. Then there's a time for that check to clear.
Correct.
And then once that check clears, is the gold or silver purchased that day?
It's based upon the availability of the client.
Right.
Then we get the client on the phone, and then then we do something called a coin call where we go over the metals and how much they are and make sure they agree to it, and then we purchase them.
But you give your professional tutored opinion on which one they should get.
We don't act as a financial advisor. We just tell them which ones are performing the best.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So.
And that's called the coin call?
Yeah, it's called a coin call.
Is that like a known term throughout
Yeah,
the
it's a
business?
known term that's in the industry.
Oh, that's
that they
interesting.
do.
That's interesting. And then the coins are shipped directly to them.
On a cash, yes. On a self-directed IRA, they're going to a depository.
Oh, because they can't touch those.
They can't touch them.
Right. And probably for good reason. You know,
Yeah,
the government
it's
wants you to have a couple bucks
yeah,
at the
it's
end.
for safekeeping. But I
All
did want to mention that
Yes.
we're actually going to be featured on Bloomberg TV now.
Oh, great.
So we're the first gold company ever to be featured on Bloomberg.
Oh, that's terrific. When
Yeah.
does that start?
December 1st.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Do you know what time or what day or anything?
I don't know. I just know the day starts December 1st.
Okay.
And then it runs, I think, all week.
Are you on it?
I'm not on it. We have a couple spokespeople that
Oh, that's
are going
great.
to do reads and stuff like that.
That's a great endorsement, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a great
That's
endorsement.
terrific. All right. The company's taken off. You got to get in on the ground level before this company explodes and becomes huge. And you've got to get yourself the free silver as well. Up to $25,000 in free silver when you buy premium Mintage gold coins. 833-362-3843. 833-362-3843. And then watch Bloomberg TV, and you will see a segment or at least a feature with GoldenCrest metals. How'd that come together, by the way?
You know what? I got a call from one of our media buyers and says that, there's this opportunity that you can't pass. I said, what is it? And he said, well, it's to be featured on Bloomberg TV.
Oh, that's great.
And I said, absolutely. I said, to be featured on Bloomberg, I would take it.
Yeah.
I said, it's I don't need, $1 million spokespeople, but if I can be featured on Bloomberg, then
Sure.
it's a great, marketing tool to get our name out there.
That's terrific. All right, we'll be looking for it, and we'll see you next week right here on this same station. Call right now and get your free silver. This deal goes away at the end of the month. 833-362-3843. 833-362-3843. Rich, nice to see you. We'll see you on Bloomberg TV next week.
Thanks a lot.